Sophia, the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm doing my book review on The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. I really enjoyed this book, however, it was not what I was expecting. I still really liked it. I was hoping that I was going to be like, oh my word, this is amazing, and I loved it. I really did enjoy it. It was very interesting. It was easy to keep on reading. It was a little bit more, I guess I would say, it was more romancy than I would have liked. But I still really enjoyed it. How these complete two strangers quickly found love, and their love was able to keep them alive through friendships and other relationships. That they were able to stay alive and make it out of the war alive together. And lots of people could not unfortunately say that. And this story is also based on a true story. Even though this is a novel, it was a little bit hard to wrap my head around it. But this is a novel, but the two characters on here is based on the powerful true story of love and survival. So I want to know more about their books. Maybe they wrote a biography because I'd love to know about it. So he says, I tattooed her number on her left hand and she tattooed her number in my heart. Leo Slovako. So the main character, his name is Leo Slovako, and he gets transported to Auschwitz. He is actually not Jewish. He is I think Ukrainian or Russian, and he gets the job of tattooing the people at Auschwitz, and he does that. And one day he sees a woman who he falls in love, and her name what's her name? Her number is 34902. Her name is Gita, and so they fall in love. And the story just is about them trying to get through it day to day. There are times when they don't see each other. They try to meet on Sunday afternoons if both of them aren't working. So they're in Auschwitz, and one of them, I believe, is in Birkenau, which is the Auschwitz II, I believe. And they try to see each other. He, by having his job as the tattooer, it gives him access to more food and better sanitary conditions, and he's able to give food to his friend slash lover. He keeps on probing her to tell her, you know, what's her last name, where is she from, family, things like that, and she will not do it. And you know, they're just wondering if they're gonna get through the next day alive, and he has, you know, he likes pledged, you know, that they will get out of here alive together and have a loving relationship and love each other for the rest of their lives. And she won't open up about this, and she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to mess up his spirits of his joy, because she, at this point, she has lost her family members, and she does not want to do that, especially after he doesn't know what happened to his family. Anyway, I was surprised, but I mean, I should have not been surprised. They did have a physical relationship when they were at the camp, and I'd like to know if that's true. I'm sure that part it's very likely could have been true. I'll do some research on it and let you guys know. But this was a great book. I think I only gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it, but it was not one of those historical fiction books that like just grabbed me a lot. There was stuff about Rudolf Hess in here, obviously, because he was one of the first commandants of Auschwitz. There is stuff about the Angel of Death in here a lot. I like seeing that in there. It was very, very loosely historical besides the time frame, and I was wanting it to be more saturated in history, and obviously it is saturated in history. But I think could have been some more historical things put into that I would like to see. But if you guys have read this book, please let me know in the comments down below. I've been trying to get my hands on her new book, which is Gita's friend, and it's called Child's Journey, which is one of her friends in here. So I'm really excited to read that. This was a very sad and amazing story. So at the end of the book, when he gets out of the camp, they want to try to get out of the camp together, and they did not able to do that. He goes back to his home. He tries to find Gita, and at the end he does. But before that, he gets a job, as he gets to stay in this nice fancy bedroom, take a bath, have all these nice food, and he gets to save up some money for himself to get his life back on track after the war. He is to go out and find women for these soldiers, and he does that for a while. He wasn't sure how long he's going to have his job. Finally, they let him go. He takes off to find Gita, and he finds her, and he's just walking on the street, and he sees her, and they stops in his tracks, and her friend's like, that's him. That's Lael. So this is a very incredible story, something that I definitely would have been how I felt too. He felt like he was a hypocrite because he was being persecuted as well, but here he is persecuting the woman that he loves. She's Jewish, and he is not. Obviously both in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II, in the Holocaust, and he is hurting people, and he hates himself for this. And she, he tells her, that he feels so terrible about this. He's like, you are still a hero. You're a survivor. You're doing what has to survive, and that is so true, because during that time, if you wanted to stay alive, you would have to do things that you would not be comfortable talking about. And sadly, that's the case. And people, I think, where to some extent were able to do those things without completely compromising what they thought were right or wrong. And maybe they didn't. But it takes such strength and grace under pressure, which is one thing why I love about history. And is to see how people do react. Do they react with grace under pressure? Do they have anger? Do they have hate? Do they have love? Do they have grace? And so many times we see it, and sometimes we see the other part of it. But by seeing what people did during those trying times, it can help us become better people and to know what to do more in those types of situations if we are ever in those situations. So this was a very great story. It was very short. I should have read it a little quicker than I did. So let me read you the last little section from here. Okay, here we go. 2 years later, his business, wait, no, that's no, we don't want that, sorry. Gita is walking down the main street with her two friends when she sees a funny looking cart being drawn by a horse. A young man stands casually in the back. She steps onto the road. Time stands still as the horse stops of its own volition in front of the young woman. Lael climbs down from the car. Gita takes a step down. Still he doesn't move. She takes another step. Hello, she says. Lael drops to his knees. Gita turns around to her two friends who are looking at him in astonishment. Is it him? One of them calls out. Yes, says Gita, it is him. Clearly Lael's not going to move or is incapable of moving, so Gita walks to him. Kneeling down in front of him, she says, in case you didn't hear me when I left Birkenau, I love you. Will you marry me? He says, yes, I will. Lael sweeps Gita up in her arms and kisses her. One of Gita's friends comes over and leads the horse away. Then with Gita's arms around Lael's waist and her head resting on his shoulder, they walk away, merging into the crowded street, one young couple among another in a war-ravaged city. So after that, they start a business of importing and selling things like fabrics and paintings, and their business partner turns them in, and they have to leave where they were living once again and go on the run again. So their life continued, but their children grew up knowing love and knowing life and knowing grace, and it was an incredible story. So let me say this again. I love this. This was a great story. I'm not saying I don't like it. It was not badly written. It was very enjoyable. I liked her writing style. I really liked it. It's just, I love history facts, and I just didn't have a lot in them. But it still is a great story. It's well written. I definitely want to read it again and do some more research. So please let me know in the comments down below. Hope I didn't offend you by saying with these things I did. These are just honest facts and opinions about what I got from the story. But that's why I want to have this chance so we can talk about our different ideas and opinions in a kindly fashion. I hope you guys like this video. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time in another video. Goodbye.